This segment with Kevin Byard, brought to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. All right, let's bring in Kevin. Good to see you, KB. How good did it feel to finally win a game?
It was a long time coming for sure. This year has been filled with a lot of ups and downs, more downs than up, a lot of adversity. But, we talked about it the night, before the game about, 2025 being the year of new, trying to start this year off with a bang and, to have lost, 11 games straight, I think it was. And
10. Don't make it worse than it is.
Yeah, I don't want to make it worse than what it is, just like you said. But to lose 10 straight games and then obviously have lost, I think, 10 or 11 games to Green Bay in a row, to start the year off beating Green Bay, beating our rival in Lambeau. It was an awesome feeling in that locker room. The guys, we were so excited. We really, especially me personally, man, I really wish we had some more games left to play because, to have that feeling in that locker room, that's what it's all about, man. It's hard to win in this league. We're hoping that that's going to bring us some momentum, heading into next year.
All right, I got to tell you, buddy, your hit on Packers quarterback Malik Willis on the blitz was one of the Bears' best this season. Not often do you really get to square up and drill the quarterback like that, right?
Yeah, honestly, looking at the replay and the highlights at the end of the game, I was thinking to myself, like, man, they possibly could have called rough for the passer in there because I really drove the guy to the ground. But Malik Willis, man, that's my guy. He was drafted in Tennessee when I was there, spent like 2 or 3 years with him. Really great dude. And I kind of was joking with him at the end of the game, like, hey, you didn't hear my footsteps? I thought you was going to at least brace for contact at the last minute. So, no, but it was an awesome play in the game to get that turnover. It was huge stress because I think that the team, they had just caught an interception. So to get that turnover, try to swing the momentum back in our favor was huge, in that moment.
You got the finish card as well. We saw it on TV. What's that all about?
Yeah, so it's crazy. So I think it was maybe before we left to go to Green Bay. It was on Friday. Coach Eric Washington in our defensive meeting passed out these finish cards, right? And it was mainly just kind of just speaking to, obviously the season hasn't gone the way we wanted to go, but as a group and as a unit, we're going to finish no matter what. We're going to finish the job, obviously, especially going against our rivals. So he passed out these finish cards, which was almost like a screenshot of what was on it was a screenshot of what was on our film, like at the end of the film tape, the end of the cut up that he made, it was finished. And he gave that to every single player. And so we kind of carried it with us to Green Bay. Kind of everybody had it in their pockets, I guess. And that was actually Jacob Martin who put up that finish card. It was actually, honestly, it was hilarious because we was joking with the guy, on the plane because we all seen the highlight of holding the finish card. We was just kind of joking like, bro, you had this in your pants pocket or your hand warmer. It was hilarious. So, and I actually, during my exit meetings yesterday was talking to Coach Washington. His wife showed him that on TV, and we was kind of just joking and laughing about it. But it just let you know how much that game meant to, the entire team for sure.
I love it. You've been part of some rivalries before. I'm specifically Eagles-Cowboys when you were in Philly. What was it like as a Bear, your first trip to Lambeau Field?
Yeah, like I said, man, I've been to Lambeau a couple times in my time with the Titans, but obviously going there, as a Chicago Bear, meant a lot. It felt a little different. For the guys, in dramatic fashion, the way we won, obviously, Kyra got the field goal blocked the last time, and to be able to make it this time, storming the field in Lambeau, seeing some guys trying to Lambeau leap into the crowd. It was a screenshot or a picture of the Green Bay fans, Packers cussing out some of our players or whatever. It just meant a lot, man. Like you said, to be a part of this historic rivalry and to be one of the guys to help the team kind of end that losing streak, it felt really good, honestly. And so, like I said, we hope to continue that success versus this team, this following upcoming year.
Kevin, you're a captain. You give the pep talk, the speech in the huddle before games. I've seen it often. Did you say anything to your teammates in the locker room? Maybe it was on the way home, in the locker room after the game, during even cleanup yesterday?
No, I spoke to the team at the end of the game. Obviously, there was a lot of game balls to be handed out. TB, Thomas Brown, got his first one as a head coach, so we gave him the game ball. Mr. Warren also came in and gave a game ball to Virginia McCaskey. I think if this was on her 102nd, I'm about to say 122nd, her 102nd birthday, which is incredible. So she got a game ball as well. Her son George was there, got the game ball, and so at the end I broke the team down, just pretty much saying like how much I appreciated everybody in that entire room, that locker room, from the players to the coaches, to support staff, trainers, everybody. Appreciated them for all the help and all the work that was put in this year, and just told the team that I love them. And for the guys that's going to be coming back this year, really make sure that this is the feeling, that remember this feeling in the locker room, winning the ball game and how tough it was. And I also spoke to the guys that, this is business. This is business. We all understand that this team's not going to be the same again. So I kind of told the guys it's not going to be here. Take all the highs and the lows and adversity and all the lessons from this year. Take it wherever you go, whether if that's going to be another team. It's possible that some guys have played their last football game last night. So take all the adversity and everything that we've learned this year and take it on wherever you go. So just wanted to tell the team how much I appreciated them.
I assume you met with Thomas Brown, John Hoke, Ryan Poles for your exit interview. I heard some of the other guys talk about their exit interviews. What did you tell the front office folks?
Well, I don't think it was necessarily about what I told them. Obviously, most all exit meetings are kind of, the same a little bit. Obviously, you're kind of having an end-of-year review on, with polls and TB and my DB coaches about, how we played this year as a team, kind of talk about the adversity and stuff we faced. And, exit meetings are never good to have. I mean, even if you make the playoffs or you don't make the playoffs, it's always like one of the worst times of the year and telling everybody goodbye and everybody's going their separate ways. I don't really want to get into the discussions I had with Poles about, those type of things. But they're all really positive. They're all really good interviews that I had with all the coaches and obviously Ryan Poles.
All right, I want you to go back. What did you learn? I mean, you've been around this. You just wrapped up your 9th season in the NFL. And I know, because you and I have discussed it all season long, you're always learning. So what did you learn through such a difficult season this year? And if you had a chance to turn back the clock, would you have done anything differently?
Yeah, that's a great question. I honestly think that, number one, I'm still in the process of, kind of decompressing, really trying to take all the things that I've learned this year, but also I think sometimes when you're in the middle of it, there's a lot of things that you feel emotionally about certain things, and when you could take a little bit of time off, you're able to reflect a lot more on the things that I've learned. So I'm still in the process of doing it. Obviously, this is really just like my first off day of the entire year. But I will say, just for wrapping up my 9th year, I've been blessed to be able to play 9 years in this league, fairly healthy. That's been incredible. I will say if there's something that I probably could do differently, just initially coming off, the end of the season, I think my leadership has grown tremendously. And just me personally, I almost wish that I could have been more confrontational in a way as far as my leadership. There's a lot of things that I had been used to as far as standards and culture things that had been set from, the head coach. And obviously our head coach was fired. And there were a lot of things that I've seen earlier in the season, but if it was training camp or spring that I did try to address as a captain. But I think as the year went along and frustration built up amongst the team, I think some things were kind of just like almost like swept under the rug in a way. And I feel like as a leader, and I'm not talking about just young players and veteran players, I think just all players, I could have been a little bit more confrontational in a way in the locker room to demand excellence out of everybody, to demand accountability out of everybody. And I'm like I said, I'm talking about players, coaches, everybody involved. Because at the end of the day, man, like I said, I'm in year 9. I understand that I have played more years than I have left to play. And every year that we don't get to the ultimate goal, it's sort of a wasted year in a way. And I don't want to waste any more time. So everything that I'm going to be doing going forward is going to be trying to demand excellence out of myself and out of everyone around me. And whatever that may look like, being confrontational, really, holding guys accountable to the highest possible way that I can. So, yeah, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to try to make sure that we don't have a season like this again.
Man, I got to tell you, I'm so glad you said that, Kevin, because you are so well respected by that organization, by your teammates, by Bears fans because of your experience, and to hear teammates question the lack of discipline. Hey, man, even General Manager Ryan Poles referenced the lack of discipline during training camp on the radio. So it's no secret. Enough people have talked about it. And I was going to ask you if you had wished you were more vocal about it. And you just said, yes, I do wish I had said more. Now that you've been around a season with this organization, will you be more vocal next season?
1,000%. Like I said, my experience, not even getting to like the coaching search and stuff like that, but I was with Mike Vrabel, and Mike Vrabel is, if you're able to be a fly on the wall in whether if it's meetings or during the practice, be out there during the practice with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's gonna be the loudest voice out there. Nobody's gonna be louder than him. He's going to be coaching hard the entire practice. So for me as a younger player, a lot of things that, being a vocal leader, it was kind of like you're picking your spots, but a lot of things were need to be said because Mike Vrabel was going to be on it. And I think going from Mike to even Nick Sirianni to also Matt Eberflus, they're a little bit more hands off in a way, or just not as loud and as vulgar as Vrabel was. It demands for a different type of leadership in a way, so that like the team is a lot more player led versus the head coach being kind of the big boisterous voice around the entire facility. So I think that's just me learning and growing as a player, and obviously going into different circumstances and cultures to where as though I feel like I have a lot of respect in the organization and in the team to where as though I can use my voice a lot more because I've been a part of a winning organization. I haven't won the Super Bowl, but I've been to every, whether if it's AFC Championship game, the division game, I've been all over. So I've seen what winning looks like. I know what winning cultures looks like. So if there's certain things that I see that should be addressed, and instead of waiting on the next man or waiting on the coach to address it, I should just go ahead and address it myself because I have the respect level of my teammates in the organization because I care about them and I care about winning. So I think when you show somebody that you care and you show a player or a teammate that you care about them, it's very easy to hold them accountable because it's just out of the love of the game and wanting to win. That's it.
Your former teammate in Tennessee, who's your teammate with the Bears, DeMarcus Walker, said the same thing yesterday. He said there will be no lack of discipline under Coach Vrabel. He actually said it the way he said it. I can't run it on TV. If given the choice, would Vrabel be your number one guy for this roster to be the head coach?
Yeah, I mean, personally, yeah. And maybe that's just me selfishly saying that because, the success that we had together, winning all those games in Tennessee, you know, like I said, he was the coach that was there when I got my contract extension, and we've developed a great relationship. He knows my family. You know, and is it going to be best for organization? I mean, I'm not sure. Like I said, that's why they don't pay me to make those decisions and things like that. I think it has to be a delicate balance with, there's been a lot of talk about leadership of men. There needs to be, I think it needs to be a plan to help Caleb develop as well. So I don't know what that looks like as far as the head coach. But I just know with my experience with Vrabel, he's probably one of my all-time favorite coaches. So, of course, I would love to have him be the head coach. But at the end of the day, whoever's going to be the new head coach of this team will get my ultimate level of respect. And, I hope that, whoever it's going to be is going to come in and, like I said, set that standard, set that culture of accountability from the rip. And I will make sure that trickles down into the locker room as much as I can.
All right. How did your body hold up? Any injuries you'll need to heal during the offseason?
No, I wouldn't say any injuries. Am I completely healthy? Absolutely not. We'll get some things looked at this offseason, but I always spend this month of January and February just doing a lot of rehab, man. I led the team in tackles this year, which is pretty crazy.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah, I led the team in tackles, so I'm gonna get these shoulders rehabbed and doing all that good stuff to make sure that they're gonna be in tip-top shape next year. And no real injuries that I gotta necessarily truly do rehab. I got an MRI today actually on my shoulders to make sure everything's good. I want to get everything documented so I can know what I'm dealing with going to the offseason. But as far as I know, no plans for surgery or nothing like that. We're just going to rehab as much as possible, and we'll definitely be ready to go in the spring.
All right. I hope that you're going to tell me that you're going to have a chance to get away with the family a little bit. And what do you want to do away from the game of football during the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, actually, my family has left Chicago already. My kids are back home in Nashville. They just started their first day back in school in Nashville, so I'll be heading down there tomorrow after I finish up this MRI and some stuff at the facility. I'll be heading down with the family. Honestly, man, I'm just excited to get back around them and be a full-time dad. I'm always a full-time dad, but truly giving my wife a break in a way. You know, my wife, this is the first year where, you know, we didn't have the amount of help that we normally have as far as, you know, a nanny or stuff like that. So she put in a lot more work than I did this year. So I got to give her a break. I may give her a spa day later, stay downtown Nashville for like a day or two just by herself. She needs that time to herself to you know, almost mentally reset just as much as I need to. But we'll take a couple trips with the family. We'll see what the kids, their school breaks look like. Probably do something for spring break. I think we're gonna go to Hawaii maybe. But yeah, I just like to get back home, get around the family. Definitely going to start golfing again once the weather warms up a little bit more. So yeah, just a lot of rest and recovery time, reset with the family, and then we'll get right back to training.
All right, let me give you one final question. You finished up your first year with the Bears. You have another year on your contract. Are you excited about what the future holds for Kevin Byard in this town with this team?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as I know, obviously I don't have any guaranteed money left on my deal, but as far as I know, based on
You're
conversations,
not
I'll
going
definitely be back
anywhere.
here.
Now, they're going to ask me, you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I 100%. I fully expect to be back here next year. So, like I said, I'm excited about continuing expanding in my leadership role with this team. Super excited about what the future holds. Obviously, this team is going to be, I wouldn't say totally different, but it's definitely going to be different next year. We're going to have a new group of draft picks. Where you know some things will change as far as the roster, as far as veterans, and like we all know how this goes. But excited about next year. Excited about kind of getting my I would say almost say getting my feet wet within this first year with this team, organization, the structure of everything. Just excited about what the future holds for this team because obviously we got the quarterback position settled. Now we can make sure we build the team around this guy, from the coaching staff to the players, and try to run this thing back, man. But this division is very competitive, and as a competitor at the highest level, you want to be able to compete against the best. So I'm excited to try to change our division record from 1-5 to maybe 5-1 or 6-0 next year. So it's going to be an exciting year in 2025 for the Chicago Bears.
Kevin Byard, I appreciate you. We all thank you from Fox 32 here in Chicago for such a great season, and I look forward to seeing you come next season as well. Thank you, my friend.
I appreciate it, Lou. You guys have been great this year, man. It's been awesome. Thank you.